Paul the apostle was another who knew the loneliness of being chosen. His mission to spread the gospel took him to distant lands, often landing him in prison cells and remote places where he was cut off from others. Despite his isolation, Paul's letters reflect a deep communion with God, revealing that even in his loneliness, he was never truly alone. His solitude allowed him to write much of the New Testament, works that continue to impact the world today. These examples highlight a common thread among those who are chosen. Their calling often leads them into periods of profound loneliness. But this loneliness is not without purpose. It is during these times that God draws his chosen ones closer to himself, teaching them to rely solely on him.
One of the things I try to do every day is to have my to-do list. This is something I've been doing pretty much every day for almost forever. I divide my page into 3 sections. The first section is focus, which is basically the things that I'm focusing on for that period of time. The first thing I'm focusing on is placing 2 candidates in new jobs for what I'm currently working on at work, then documenting my life on YouTube. At the end of the day, I will typically come here and write down the things that I'm grateful for that has happened throughout the day. And then over here, I have my to-do list, all of the things that I want to finish up for that day. Right now, I've finished up with my prayer, I have Bible study, finished module 3, which is work stuff, film this vlog, which I'm currently doing, read Felix Dennis, a book I'm currently reading called How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. Very interesting and controversial book. Workouts later today, Homework for Life, which is an exercise that I learned from a book called Storyworthy by Matthew Dix, and then I need to get thumbnails for this vlog. So hopefully by the end of the day, I'm able to finish up with all of these things on my to-do list. Something else that I use is my calendar. Ideally, I'm supposed to wake up by 7:30, which I did not. Woke up much later than that. I did not write today. To be fair, I haven't written at all throughout this week. The idea of writing is to help me to have content to create. For this week, I was not making any talking head videos. It's just filming this blog, so I did not write at all throughout this week. Prayer is something that I've done already. Then by 12, I'm about to go into my deep work session, have a meeting by 1. Then by 4, I'll be heading to the gym, and then another deep work session, hopefully by 7, between 7 to 9 p.m. later today. So yeah, that's basically my work schedule for today. And before I get into all of these things, I'd like to eat first. So I'm going to get something to eat, answer a couple of questions, and then I will be starting my first deep work session by 12 p.m.
Remember the days we were young, wild and free, basic getting sprung. We used to dance the night away, hang out the whole next day, laughing, having fun.
Let's talk about finances. This is like the question I get asked the most from friends, from family, from people in general that just know that I've moved. They want to have an idea of what I'm spending. Do I cook, for example? How do I get around? Things like that. I'm obviously not going to get into like the numbers of exactly how much I spend, right? But then there are a couple of things that I do make sure that I spend money on. The way I think about it is a matter of splurging on some certain things and then cutting down on other areas. So for example, there are 3 non-negotiables that I have. First of all is when it comes to food. I do not cook at all. Initially, when I moved, I used to cook a lot, and I have a lot of ingredients inside all of these locals, which I basically haven't touched in a very long time. I used to cook, but then the food was awful. That's the sad part about it. I have ingredients, but then I cannot cook. Like, I literally do not know how to cook. So anytime I cook, it always tastes like very awful. So now I just order food instead. That's one thing that I splurge on. The second thing I splurge on is transportation. I Uber everywhere, but then it's not as bad as it sounds because I barely go anywhere. Most of the time I'm at home. I go to the gym 4 times a week, to and fro. That's like 2,000 to come back, which I guess is quite, pricey at the same time, but then it's really not that bad. Then I go to church on Sundays, and that's pretty much it, to be fair. Sometimes I might decide to go somewhere else, but then that's pretty much it. Food, on transportation, and then the final thing is a fitness trainer. So I have a fitness trainer, which is something that my father has been shouting at me to stop, but then I'm not going to stop that anytime soon. And the way I think about it is I cut on other areas. For example, I don't buy new clothes, right? I literally haven't bought new clothes since I think May or June this year. I barely ever buy new clothes. I just wear the same thing over and over again. I don't buy new shoes. I don't buy other things. Aside from that, I pretty much just save every other thing I earn. It is now 12:19 p.m., about 20 minutes late. Before starting my deep work session, most likely going to start at 12:30, I thought I'd talk to you about a concept from this book that I'm sure most of you are familiar with, which is deep work. One of the things that has really helped me over the past year and a half thereabout is being able to just sit down for like 2-3 hours and focus squarely on completing a particular task. And it's interesting to see how much you can actually achieve by just sitting down and focusing for a couple hours versus what most people achieve in a whole day. I think it has helped me a lot. If you saw my calendar, you'll see that like the blocks of work that I just have like one deep work session and then another deep work session. For the most of this week, I've actually just been doing one deep work session. So I just have like maybe like a 4-hour block thereabouts. I just try to sit down and finish up what I have to finish up. And I find that most times I'm able to finish up with everything I have to do for that day within that block of time. Sitting down and blocking every form of distraction, put off my phone, I just sit down, consciously avoid distractions. One of the things that you will find, or at least I found when I initially just started trying to do deep work, is the fact that I work for a bit and then subconsciously my brain just like picks up my phone. My hand just picks up my phone, and then before I know it, I'm like, why did I pick up this phone? It happens from time to time, and then I consciously just try to stop that process. So when I feel the urge to pick up my phone, I'm just like, no, don't pick up my phone, focus. And then by training that muscle over time, I find that like I'm not the biggest deep work guru in the world, but I find that over time I've been able to just sit down and focus on something for a while, and it really does a lot of good. I'm focused on the curriculum and then also trying to tie things up with the 2 candidates that I'm starting off the project with next week, Wednesday. One of the things I wanted to mention is the idea of being a total person, right? Being a total person in all areas of your life. I kind of spoke about this a bit in the first framework video. The second video I have on my channel, I believe, is titled "This Simple Framework Actually Changed My Life," something along those lines. One of the things I dream of, or I think about quite a lot, is becoming complete in all the areas. Like I just imagine sometimes, business-wise, like I was on point and have a decent business with employees, you have a team, you're working towards something, you have people working for you, building your vision with you. On the health side of things, you are good fitness-wise, you have an amazing body, physical appearance, all of that, you're proud of how you look. Then relationship-wise, you have an amazing romantic relationship, you have good friends, in touch with your family, that is also going good. Then on the learning side of things, expanding your mind, very well read, very knowledgeable, and then you can relate on multiple topics that people are talking about. It doesn't matter what they're talking about, you can chip in something, and you're very smart, right? Because you've read a lot also. Then spiritually, you're also sound, you have a very good relationship with God. And then finally, like your finances also, you're also boxed, like bills are not a problem for you. I just spend quite a lot of time just thinking about that and trying to work towards becoming that person. So I try to like every day make progress to all of these areas. Imagine walking into a room, let's say for example, I want to speak to a group of young boys in the future, maybe like 3 years, 5 years from now, right? And there's a group of young teenage boys that I want to speak to. At that point, I'm probably like 24, 25 years old, and I'm coming to speak to them, and then they are reading out my, what's it called? Is it citation? I don't know what it's called. That thing that they usually read out before somebody comes. And then it's like, oh, this guy has built a business that's doing, multiple millions of dollars a year, documented the process from when he started up until now, from when he was your age, 20, when he was 18, 17, he documented the whole process up until now. Everything is public. Fitness-wise, like you walk into the room and your presence is felt as you walk into the room. Relationship-wise, I don't know, maybe walking with your babe or something, and then you guys are like amazing, look good together. Your network is also high level. Your friends are high level people. Spiritually, you're also sound, right? You're able to draw from the foundations of scriptures in everything that you're saying. Financially, you're boxed, like you pull up in some kind of, I don't know, Range or Rolls Royce Ghost or like some, I just envision this like weird stuff sometimes, and I don't think it's weird. I think it's definitely something that's possible, and that's like the foundation for this channel in the first place, and the reason why I'm doing all of this and what I basically obsess my whole life about, my whole day is about, which is that you can build the type of life that you want, you can design your life. And I think it's quite sad. We're about to enter into a rant right now, but then I think it's quite sad that a lot of people have given up, especially, I mean, you can't really blame a lot of people because of like the situation of the country and all of that, but then it is astounding how many people, to me, have given up on doing what it is that they want to do, or maybe following their passion. I personally believe, it is my philosophy, that you can follow your passion, or you should follow your passion, especially if you're young, you know, and you can also turn your passion into a career. Those are like two founding philosophies. And then also that you can design the type of life that it is that you want. Those are things that I really live by. And like I was saying, it's quite sad when you see young people that have given up already, and they're already thinking of just, there's no zeal any longer, there's no motivation, there's no drive to do anything. They're just finding the path of least resistance. Exactly. That's the path they are looking to apply, the path they are looking to follow. I think it's really sad. And hopefully I'm able to, with this channel over the next, you know, couple of however long I do this for, able to inspire people, to let you guys know that like you can design the type of life that you want. You can sit down and prayerfully figure out what your purpose is, what you want to do, and then start working towards that vision. Even if you don't have the full picture starting out, but at least take steps to get closer to that type of person. And yeah, eventually, hopefully in the next couple of years, you look back and you would be impressed by how much progress you've actually made over the past couple of years, and everything that you dream of will come to pass. To be funny how all of those things that I just said now, you know, the pulling up to an event to speak to young boys, all of those things, like you watch back this video in like 5 years and you're like, damn, everything has come to pass, that type of thing, hopefully. So yeah, that is my little mini rant before I head to the gym. It's 3:51. I need to book it right now and head to the gym. I'll try to do like a real video type thing in the gym. Since it's still a bit early, there should be nobody in the gym right now, just my trainer and I. Food, jollof rice, and plantain. Like I said, I pretty much just eat the same thing every single day at this point. I thought I'd talk about a couple of things. First of all, some of the things I'm getting used to, or trying to get used to. I think the major culture shocks, or the major differences that I've found since I've been in Lagos, one of them is the water situation. I think it's probably because I live in Lekki, so this is probably not applicable to every single person that lives in Lagos, but then the water situation is horrendous. It is awful. It is hard water that comes out of the pipe. At this point, I think I'm getting used to it. I watched a couple of videos prior to coming, and some people were talking about how the water is colored in their house. It isn't colored, fortunately for me here, but then it's hard water that comes out of the thing, and then my skin used to literally peel initially when I just moved, and it was a whole situation. But then right now, I think I'm getting used to it. The other alternative would be to like use bags of sachet water and then cut it, and then I'm just not about to do that. So I'm getting used to it. That's just the water in the bathroom though. The water that comes out of the tap here is actually fine. Another thing I'm getting used to that's a bit different is like the whole neighbors mind your business policy. I literally don't know anybody else that's in this building. Like I don't know any of my neighbors, anybody, because everybody's just like minding their business and doing their own thing, which is just weird to me. I mean, it's not weird, to be fair. It's not like I had neighbors that I knew when I was in Ibadan, to be fair, but like it's just something interesting that would walk past each other and nobody's saying anything. I might want to say hi, but like the person is just focused on where they're going, which is unnecessary in my opinion. Another thing that I slightly mentioned earlier also is the fact that like you can order anything. It's interesting to me how you can just order anything. Thinking about it now, this is, I guess, normal, or this is how it's supposed to be, but it's just something that I never had access to. There was a period of time when I felt sick and I wanted to get drugs. I think I already mentioned this, but like if I was in Ibadan, I've had to think about, you know, a pharmacy, how to get that. But here, I just like pick up my phone, order the drugs, order literally anything I want, which is a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, because you end up spending a lot of money, you know, especially like in the nights when you've not eaten anything, you're too lazy to cook, you just order stuff. And then finally, another thing that I think I'm getting used to at this point is like the display of wealth. The other day I was going on Admiralty Road, I was going to my gym, and then I saw a Lamborghini Huracan parked somewhere. I'm like, Jesus Christ, bro. At this point, it's getting normal. I've seen like 4 Rolls Royces at this point. There's literally one up the street. Like if you just walk up the street, you see a Rolls Royce just parked there in the garage. The other day I went there with my friend. We tried to speak to the owner, but unfortunately we couldn't get across to the owner. We were only able to talk to like the driver of the Rolls Royce. But then it's something that's interesting and I'm getting used to. time is 10:36 p.m. and I am absolutely drained. Most days are like this for me, where I kind of wake up pretty late. I wake up like 9:30, 10 a.m. most of the time. I've tried to wake up early in the past. It just doesn't work for me. I shouldn't say it doesn't work for me. I just don't care that much about it. Let me rephrase that statement. So most of the time, I actually just don't wake up early. I wake up 9:30, 10, start my day around 12, 12:30, thereabouts, and then I'm pretty much working up until late in the night. But I just try to complete all of the things that I have on my to-do list. So hopefully I can sleep by like 12. But today, since I'm editing this video, I'm just discovering how difficult it is going to be to actually finish up with editing putting all of the videos and everything together. And I've never done this before, so it's probably going to take me a bit more time also. Something I didn't mention, looking back on like the whole recordings and everything I've recorded so far, is the reading side of things. I actually do quite a bit of reading throughout the day. One of the things I try to do is use my free time. Once I'm done working, for example, and I'm waiting before going to the gym, I just lay on my bed and read. When I wake up in the morning, when I'm in transit, I try to get a lot of reading in between my day. I don't have any social media platforms on my phone. I don't have Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, or I don't have YouTube even on my phone. I don't have any social media. I just have WhatsApp and Telegram. Telegram, I don't open it. I barely ever open it, just WhatsApp for the most part, right? So I try to just replace, that with reading or listening to a podcast. That's something I try to do. Yeah, that's basically my life. That's basically my day. Pretty boring, nothing too exciting at the end of the day, but trying to make slow and gradual progress towards the type of person that I want to become and towards the things that I'm prioritizing in my life, essentially. Right, I would appreciate it if you let me know what you thought about this video in the comment section. Let me know what type of videos you want to see more often too. Do you prefer talking head videos, which I'm most likely going to be doing more of, to be fair, because this whole vlog thing is it's quite difficult. Or if you prefer talking head videos, what videos you want to see, just let me know what you're interested in. And yeah, that's basically it. All the links are in the description. Check it out there if you want to have a chat with me. Link is in the description. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you're watching at this point, you're an OG for real, because I have no idea why you're still watching this video right now. But yeah, appreciate you watching, appreciate you giving me your time, your attention, and I will see you inside of my next video.